I just decided this evening I'd start with something fairly easy, and just talk the tools I carry on an overnighter. It wouldn't really change for an extended trip, and talk about the cook kit that I use, which you've probably seen on the community channel. I've posted it a few times now at this stage, but yeah. So I thought I'd have a little run through, talk about how we got to that point, and hopefully gives you guys some ideas. And like as always, if you have any feedback for me or ideas on how to improve my kit, I'm all ears. I want to hear it. So just set up and we'll get going. So I suppose we'll start with the good stuff. So these are typically the tools I'll carry on an overnight or an extended trip. They won't change. Purely because I don't have any other tools. These are the ones that over time I've gotten to the point now where I think I'm fairly happy with the way my setup. I'm not a one tool option kind of guy, although the Horseman might sway my opinion a little bit, but generally I stick to 4-inch belt blade, neck knife, folding saw, hatchet. Fairly standard actually, to be honest. I don't carry 2 belt knives. I just have a new little baby that I'm just gonna give a glimpse of. I'm gonna do a review separately. So of both knives, I'm gonna do a review. So I won't go into too much detail about them, but I'll show you them anyway. So we start with the ubiquitous folding saw, the Baco Laplander. What can you say about it really? It's for the price and for its weight and for its size, it's a hell of a saw. It does an awful lot when it's out camping with me. I got originally a Sandvik one used off an Irish buy and sell website for free when I was buying a strop like 2-3 years ago off a tradesman in Waterford, and I hadn't had a folding saw before, and I only realised just how bloody useful they are to have. So I think this is my second. This is my first of the Baco Laplanders. The other one, the blade in it was dying to death, and if anybody's tried to replace the blades on them, they know that blades are around 15 quid, and you can buy the saw new for 27, 28 euros. So there's no point, just buy the saw new. But it's a great little tool. It's not going to do the work of a bow saw or a silky gone boy or a larger folding saw, but it will do most work, especially for splitting kindling and things like this, for cutting. So that's a staple in my kit. It's always in there. It's somewhere thrown in the bag. The hatchet. I have the Wetterlings Wilderness or Wildlife hatchet. It's the 106. It's Wetterlings' answer to the Grants Force Brooks Wildlife hatchet. I've become seriously emotionally attached to this. I absolutely love it. I think it weighs 800-900 grams, so it's under a kilo anyway, but it's has the same size head as their larger small forest equivalent, just on a shorter handle. So it packs a wallop. Even though it's a small hatchet, you're not going to be taking down trees with it. But the reality is, the reason I chose a hatchet and the reason I stuck with a hatchet is because I'm not out shelter building that commonly. I don't live in the boreal forest. I live in an area where cutting down trees, dead or alive, full trees, is not something I'm going to do regularly. I need a camp hatchet for small tasks, splitting kindling, carving, that sort of stuff. So this has become my my go-to. I've had it for about 18 months, and yeah, I absolutely love it. Slightly different head shape to the Grants Force Wildlife. It's more of a convex, whereas the Grants 4s is slightly more wedge shaped, and the Grants 4s will bite a lot better than the wildlife hatchet out of the box, so to speak. But it's the Grants 4s will bite a lot better than the Weatherling, should I say, out of the box. But after a while, if you just give it a lash of a stone, it'll bite pretty damn well. So yeah, I found myself lately, because of group camps with Living to Learn, I have found that I'm not using it as much as I was before, but it's a staple in my pack regardless. I find that at the group camps, or when myself and the other admins are out, I find that there's always somebody with a buck saw or a tension saw or a horseman that wants to clip limbs off, or is just going to split wood for me. So there's no need for me to pull it out a lot of the time anymore, but it goes in the pack anyway. Some might say it's unnecessary weight. I just won't leave the house without this thing. I love it. So that has been a staple for 18 months. I can't fault it at all. It's actually a crying shame that Weatherlings have closed down. So these things are going to get rare as hen's teeth as time goes on. So if you are looking for one, if you're looking for a Weatherlings in general, get them now. I think the Stroud axe is virtually impossible to get at this point. But yeah, a great little hatchet. And it will compete on every front with the wildlife hatchet, Grants 4s. So yeah, it's a good alternative to it. Neck knife. Not a typical neck knife shape. And I use this more as a walkabout knife. It's the Brock Claw. So you see a little dangler. So it looks more like a Skinner in its shape and in its profile, but I think the Scandie's not really suited to skinning that well, really, to be honest with you. But it's a great little blade. I use this blade commonly just when I'm out walking dogs, or out walking with the dogs, or if I'm out in a forest park where I know there's going to be people who are going to be pretty damn nervous about a guy carrying a 4-inch belt knife. So I tend to carry this just under my jumper or my fleece or whatever. And if I do see something that I need it for, if I'm sitting down to have a cup of coffee, I will flake out and I'll take this out. It can do most of, you're not going to batten with it, but it can do pretty much all that a 4-inch blade can do, just perhaps not as efficiently. But it's a great little knife to have. Davey does do a neck knife. You've probably seen it. It was actually a prize in the L12 500. So I just decided not to go for the neck knife. I don't know why. I thought at the time that they were probably too close to what I was already carrying in terms of size and blade profile. So it was basically the same knife, only just a miniature version. I wanted something a little bit different. Got this, my girlfriend got it for my birthday, so I was absolutely delighted with it. I've had it for almost 12 months now. As with my forest, I've had it for 12 months as well, and I can't fault them at all. I think we all are familiar with Davy's craftsmanship. So yeah, that's a staple in my main kit for overnighters, but it's also a staple if I'm just out and about. I wouldn't call it an EDC because I don't EDC, but I would say any time I'm out, that's what if I'm out in any sort of woodland setting, that's what I'll carry. So it's a great little knife. My main belt knife up until recently has been this. A lot of you guys have probably seen it now at this point. It's the Brock Forest. It's walnut handle. When I got this made by Davey, I got him to flare out the handle at the back a little bit, and it's I'd say a seriously comfortable handle. It's a 4-inch blade. think it's 3mm thick. 3mm thick. And Scandi grind. Decorative pins and the whole shebang. It's yeah, I can't fault this blade. I have had one or two edge issues which have been exacerbated by the fact that I clipped staples on a piece of 2x4 and took absolute ribbons off the edge, which Davey very kindly sorted out for me. As you can see, she cuts. But this is, yeah, it's a beautiful knife. I've used it for a long time now, over 12 months, just over 12 months. I think I've one of the longest standing continuous Brock owners. So yeah, there's a bit of provenance to this. Yeah, it's a really good knife, but it's kind of getting retired. I wouldn't say retired full time. She'll still be out with me, but it's getting retired due to this, which I will go into more detail. I'll give an in-depth review of all three of these blades, but essentially this is I don't know if you call it the Forest 2.0. It's Davey's modern take on the Forest. I won't go into too many details, but it's a knife that came up as a result of conversations between myself, Davey and Joe Price from the page. I think we all know Joe at this stage actually, but it basically combined everything that Davey's learned over the past 12 months since I've bought the original Forest. I'll just show you the difference briefly. So similar, same length, slightly different handle geometry. The original Forest is more Coke bottle shape. This is tapered slightly, slightly thinner as well. Just in the handles, the liners aren't as thick. One noticeable difference between the two is thumb scallops versus no thumb scallops, and that came as a result of Bill Blust's beautiful Forest knife with thumb scallops, which I have to say, fair play Bill, absolute revelation. But Davey nailed it. And then there is one other difference which you may notice. Those trained in knife, those who know their knives will notice straight away, is the bevel and the blade angle. On this, it's God, I don't know. I'll have to ask Davey, and I'll be able to tell you. But it's a great high-shouldered woods knife. It's great for carving, and yeah, it's a standard, industry standard. This, however, is low-shouldered and 12.5 degrees, and it is modelled on the Horseman, which has been a fairly successful. It's had moderate success, you know. No, it's been a bloody seriously successful knife so far. So it's modelled on an edge geometry that has proven now success. So I have to say, I've only had this a week. I've had it out at 2 camps, 1 camp, and I've taken it out on walkabout with me as well. And it's a bloody wood grenade is the only way of describing it. I won't ramble on about this because, like I said, I want to reserve as much as I can for a review where I'll talk about my thoughts on these two knives a year on from now, what they're like in terms of maintenance and how they've stood up, and then I'll formally introduce you guys to this as well. But it's a beast. Davey nailed it again. So that's the tools typically I carry. I suppose I'll move quickly onto my cook kit. There's not a whole lot to see. This is an old side pouch off a bag that I had before that I've just literally roughly chopped off, and my cook kit and my brew kit and stuff will go in here. So this is built up slowly over time. I'll just open her up. So it's mainly composed of this, which will look familiar. It's a nesting set that wouldn't be out of place if you saw the Pathfinder sets. They've kind of nailed nesting sets, and the reason it isn't a Pathfinder set is because I wanted an alternative to the Pathfinder set. All my mates had one. Joe had one, Colin had one. All the guys were using them, and for good reason. They're probably, without a doubt, if you're looking for a stainless steel set, they're probably one of the best going. So I wanted something that could do probably what the Pathfinder bottle and cup set can do, but with a little bit more. So I spent a while researching and trying to find stuff that would nest well together, and that's the result. So this is the Nalgene backpacker, tapered, if you'll notice, and it's 1 litre, stainless steel, as you might have guessed, and it's yeah, it's a great bottle. A little bit heavy, but that's stainless steel. That's what you're going to be prepared for. Inside it, I don't carry water in it, which might seem strange, but I don't. I have plastic bottles for that, so I don't carry water. What I keep is my coffees and sugars and teas, that sort of stuff, all go inside here, just to keep them all waterproof. Close that down, no matter what the weather's like, even if it gets submerged. I have a bottle to boil water in, and guaranteed dry teas, coffees, sugars, all in here. So typically I'll also put this, which is standard, I think, Tesco knife, fork, spoon scenario. Yeah, that will normally go in there, along with this, which is a ceramic knife that was kindly gifted to me by Joe over probably a year ago, just because I hadn't got a knife for cooking when I was out, for cutting meat or, you know, sausages, fish, whatever the hell. I didn't want to be using my belt knife or my neck knife because, well, one, they're probably going to be dirty, and then they'll be dirty after I use them. So I use this, which is it's a Tim Home kitchenware. I have no idea where it's from or what it does, or what the brand is, but Joe gave it to me. It's a cracking knife, cut steak, beautiful, can't complain, weighs nothing. That goes in there. So that will typically be full of coffees, teas, then my cutlery, and that knife, that all sits there. Next out, the Stanley Adventure Camp cook pot. It's 800ml capacity, I think. Yeah, well, it says 590 on the side is the highest point here, 591 I think, but yeah, it's about 800ml. It looks filthy inside, but it's not. That was just me and the lads acting the maggot at one of the camps, and as you can see, a lot of my stuff is blued and burnished and anodized. It's because we basically threw all of our stainless steel equipment into a fire to try and get it anodized like Joe's one, because Joe accidentally left his in. It went white hot. When he pulled it out, it was beautiful and blue, and we all wanted beautiful and blue. So it's a testament, I suppose, to the steel of these, because they all went in the fire, they all come out white hot, and none of them lost their shape, none of them lost their functionality. In saying that, that one did get really, really badly stained. But I'll use this generally for cooking noodles, soups, that sort of stuff. It's a little bit inconvenient because it's quite deep. but the handles on it is really good, steady. Doesn't heat up that much, which is kind of good. Yeah, comes with its lid. Not great, the fit, I have to say, in the lid. The one from the Pathfinder cup fits much better. So if you are getting one of these and you have a Pathfinder cup, there you go, for the win. Yeah, so that's what I'd use typically for cooking food in. Not frying obviously, but soups, noodles, that sort of stuff. And then finally, my coffee cup, my cup of soup cup, whatever the hell really. It's the Pathfinder stainless steel mug. Everybody knows one, someone who has one or has one themselves. It's you can't say anything about it. It's a cracking piece of kit. I avoided this like the plague, having one of these for a long time, because I was trying to be anti-trend. I didn't want to go down the Pathfinder route, but there I went, and I don't regret it. The only thing I don't like about this is those handles are muck, because they get scalding hot with the cup, as you can imagine, and they flop around. So even if you leave it standing, they just sit into the body, they heat up. You need a glove to lift it anyway, so in fairness the handles are kind of pointless. But yeah, and that all nests down like that. The purpose of that is space, not weight. As you can tell, it's a full stainless steel cook set. Weight is not my primary goal. Bulk and size, pack size are. Yeah, so it weighs quite a bit. I'd say easily probably a kilo at least. No, I wouldn't think so. Maybe, yeah, around a kilo I'd say. But what else is in here? Microfiber towel. I use that for cleaning these, as well as baby wipes. Baby wipes are actually really, really good at cleaning stainless steel. They'll take stuck on food and that sort of stuff, and tar and pine pitch and tar off the front of these. So baby wipes really, really good, although you go through them like there's nobody's business. And then I don't know what else I've got in here. Random piece of cord, I think, for hanging the pot by the drain holes here as a bail handle. I just would string up the cord, string it good and high, hang it out for laughing. So yeah, that's essentially what I carry as my go-to tools and cook kit. They haven't changed in a long time. The cook kit kind of built up to where it is with the Pathfinder cup, which was bought about 4 months ago, and ever since then I'm happy with it. There's no point, I don't think, in changing it. It is heavy. I would consider going down the road of stainless, of titanium, but to be honest with you, Gary Doyle, I think on the page recently, he's a really good guy. He has a YouTube channel as well, so check him out. Garcia Doyle, I believe. But Gary Doyle made a very good point about weight and what you carry. The weight of what you're carrying makes no difference whatsoever. If you can carry it comfortably, then who cares? It doesn't need to be 6 kilos, and you don't need to be going out carrying, just your knife and the clothes on your back. If you want to carry 20 kilos and you're happy to carry it, do it. Who cares? However, me personally, I got tired of carrying heavy weights, and I had a bag at the time which was ludicrously uncomfortable, which compelled me, instead of doing the sensible thing and changing the bag, I started cutting kit really, really quickly. So I started absolutely butchering what I carried with me. You'll see, I'll show the kit overall. I have a picture of it on the community page, you've probably seen it, but I carry very little. And the reason isn't because I want to be an ultralighter, or the reason isn't that I care about how much I carry. It's simply just convenience. I got into that habit when I had a ludicrously uncomfortable bag, and it's stayed that way since. I've changed the bag now, which I will do a video on, and it's yeah, now it's really comfortable. It hovers around 11 to 10 to 13 kilos depending on how much water and food I carry, but yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Once the bag's comfortable and you're happy with it, don't worry about it. So yeah, I'll try and get another one up, going through my sleep and shelter system in the next couple of days. Very waffly video, guys. I apologise for that. I didn't realise I was going to waffle on so long, and I probably didn't cover a whole lot. If you have any questions, like I said, don't forget to put a comment in at the bottom of the video, or come over to the Facebook community page which we have. I'll put a link in the description if you're not already a member, and come along and join us, share some knowledge, ask questions. It's all good. It's all good, wholesome family fun. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching. Peace.